Urlaub on the bar, on the hill now. So that does it for our 4 jumpers. Up next, we will begin the official competition. So again, this decides both the jumping portion of these championships, and for some of these racers, it will decide also the Nordic combined based on yesterday's time from the cross-country competition that was held at Kincaid Park. So our first jumper that was still a 4 jumper. That was Owen Mosen from Alaska. So that should do it for our 4 jumpers now. And now we should shortly begin the official jumping competition, beginning with Macy Olden from the Intermountain Division. So we have jumper number 1, Macy Olden, on the bar now. She will be our first official jumping competitor of today's 2018 U.S. Junior National Championships. She is on the bar, on the hill. Nice jump and landing from Macy Olden. Can you repeat that distance, please? So 34 meters was the jump from Macy Olden, and we have our next competitor, Rachel Herder. Nice jump from Rachel Herder. Her jump, 42 meters. So up next, we have Tess Arnone. Tess was in first place after yesterday's cross-country competition. She is on the hill. Nice jump from Tess Arnone. 48 meters was her jump distance. On the hill. In the tracks?
No, I guess you say jumper on the hill. On the hill is fine.
That was Alexa Brabeck. 55 meters for her. And we have bib number 5 up next, Caroline Harrison. Nice jump from Caroline Harrison from the Eastern region. 40 meters was her jump distance. Caroline Harrison from the Ford Sayre School, just 12 years old. Bib number 6, Paige Jones, getting on the bar right now. She's 15 years old. From Park City, the Intermountain Division. She's in the tracks. .54 meters for Paige Jones. This again is the U16 portion. On the bar now, wearing bib number 7. Nice jump from Loescher, the 15-year-old from Lake Placid. Her jump, 47 meters. Up next, wearing bib number 8, Jillian Highfill, also from Park City, the 13-year-old. She's on the hill. .54 meters for Jillian Highfill. And our final jumper in today's individual competition in the U16 female category, Annika Belshaw. She is on the bar now. So far the best jump, 55 meters from Alexa Brabeck. With our final jumper in the U16 female division, she is on the hill. So 54.5 meters for Annika Belshaw. So unofficially, that puts Alexa Brabeck on top of that U16 female division. So we're going to roll right into the U16 male division. Up first, Cameron Somerton from the Eastern region. He's from the Lebanon, New Hampshire, 15 years old. So Cameron Somerton's jump, 41.5 meters. Bib number 11, up next, Thomas Miller from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, 12 years old. He is on the hill. .48 meters was his jump. Bib number 12 now getting on the bar. Logan Gundry from the Flying Eagle Ski Club. He is 15 years old. He's been skiing since he was 8 years old. Logan Gundry.
I know. I mean, yeah, it's a huge production. You guys did a great job.
40.5 was his jump, 44.5 meters. And we already have our next skier, Skylar Amy, from right here in Alaska. He is on the bar, 12 years old, from the Winterberry Charter School. On the hill now. 50.5 for Skylar Amy. And Ruth Teddy. Or excuse me, Teddy Ruth from the Fort Sayre School, 15 years old. He's on the hill.
Correct. This is a trial jump. I can verify that. He's up there. I see him on top of the trial jump.
Gunnar Gilbertson on the hill.
Cockeyed in the air.
54 meters for Gunnar Gilbertson. Up next, Tim Ziegler from the Central Region. From the Ishpeming Ski Club. 15 years old. He is on the bar in the track now. .51 meters for Tim Ziegler. Up next, Caleb Zuckerman. The 12-year-old, also from Fort Sayre. He's on the hill. .47 meters for Caleb Zuckerman. Bib 18 now, Jack Lawrence. He is in the track.
My sister-in-law called me.
I don't know how much they wrote out.
Right now they're going on the same date that they use the official.
49 meters for Jack Lawrence.
They see the big hill now. Yeah. You know the.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my sister-in-law's like.
Jumper number 19 on the bar.
Up next, Cooper Saliga from the Park City Nordic Ski Club, 14 years old. On the hill now. .52.5 meters. Up next, bib number 20, Kian Crawford from the Intermountain Division. He is on the hill now. .31 meters for Kian Crawford.
Jumper number 21 on the bar.
Up next, bib 21, Stuart Gundry from the Central Division, the Flying Eagles. Just 12 years old, Stuart Gundry on the bar now. In the track. Stuart Gundry looks like he's getting up. He appears to be okay.
Distance, what was his distance? 54.5.
Stuart Gundry with a jump of 54.5.
Kenny or Paul, you want a 4-jumper now before we go to a 22 or what? No, not at this time. Sorry, we're on a hold for a second, so we'll let you know when to put a skier on the mark. Roger.
So the jury has called a short hold on the course. So it will just be a momentary delay before we put on our next skier, Carter Lee. Again, Stuart Gundry with a jump of 54.5 meters. He did suffer a fall, but appears that he is okay. We saw him walking off the course. So let's hope that he is okay and escaped unscathed. Again, this is the trial run of this first jumping competition, as yesterday's jumping was canceled due to heavy snowfall.
Ski patrol is checking him out, and looks like he's gonna be fine. I think. But yeah, I don't know, but I think no, I wouldn't announce it. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
you some blue board to sit on? Are you cold? I'm freezing.
This seems to insulate it pretty well. I
Okay.
think so.
Okay, blue board's where it's at.
What's the blue board?
I mean, it's a piece of. I'll go get it. Okay. I live right around the corner.
Oh, thanks. So our next jumper is on the bar.
In the track. Took a long track.
That was Carter Lee from the Central Division. His jump, 46.5 meters.
On the bar.
Up next, Bryce Clock from the Eastern Division. .5 meters for Bryce Clock. Up next, Cameron Forbush. He's in the track. Cameron Forbush, the 12-year-old from Fort Sayre. 47 meters was his jump.
Kenny, you got a copy, Kenny?
Up next, Carter Brubaker. He was second in yesterday's cross-country competition. Behind Evan Nichols, just a few seconds behind in what was a very exciting race. He is on the bar. His jump was 48 meters. Up next, Nicholas Malasinski from the Rocky Mountain Division, from Steamboat Springs.
Jeff, jumper 26, getting on the bar.
So Nicholas Malasinski on the bar for Steamboat Springs, the 14-year-old. He says he trains a lot of the year with the Finnish team in Finland. He's on the hill. .59 meters for Nicholas Malasinski. And up next, Evan Nichols, whom you may have seen yesterday winning the men's U16 competition in cross country. He's on the hill. .63.5 meters was his jumping distance. Up next, Eric Gessner from the Central Division. He is 15 years old. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Is he not on?
25.
Oh.
Here's jumper number 29 on the bar.
So that was bib 29, Camden Wilkinson. 63 meters was his jump. Up next, Zach Seltzman from Park City, 13 years old. He's on the bar.
We're still 4 jumping, right?
Zach Seltzman on the hill. His jump, 48 meters.
Good jumper number 31, getting on the bar.
Up next, Landon Lee from the Flying Eagles out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. 15 years old. He is on the hill. His jump was 57 meters. Up next, Eric Belshaw. .5 meters for Eric Belshaw.
I got jumper number 33 on the bar.
And our final jumper in the U16 men's division, Tate France. From Lake Placid, the New York Ski Education Foundation. He's just 12 years old. He is on the hill. .64 meters for Tate France. And our next category, the U20 females. We're gonna move the bar up. Back up to 10. And we'll have Kaylee Bickner. She'll be our first competitor in the female U20 category. So I believe so far that final jump you just saw, Tate France, has been the farthest that we've seen. Again, this is the trial jump. So this doesn't officially count for the junior national title. So Kaylee Bickner now getting on the bar from the Norgie Ski Club, 17 years old. Her brother just finished competing in the Olympic Winter Games in Pyeongchang. One of the top U.S. competitors there. But Kaylee Bickner now getting ready to go. She is on the bar. On the hill now. So Kaylee Bickner with a jump of 45 meters. Up next, Sophia Nestor from Park City Ski and Snowboard. She is 18 years old. Sophia Nestor's jump, 49 meters. Up next, Anna Hoffman from the Blackhawk Ski Club. 17 years old. She is on the hill now. 55 meters for Anna Hoffman. Up next, also from the Norge Ski Club, 17 years old, Kara Larson. She's been jumping since she was 5 years old. She's on the hill now.
Trevor, we got an EMT.
What was that distance?
What's that? Oh, go get him.
Kenny, what did you see from there?
64. Oh, Kara Larson.
I didn't see an edge or anything, actually. It just looked like a mismovement with the ski. She didn't catch an edge or anything. I think we all agree she just kind of slid out. Everybody kind of agrees here. We all saw the same thing. Thought she was a little forward.
Temperature inversion.
Carter, we have a hole. We'll let you know when we're interested.
Well, we're friends. Yeah. Hi, how are you, Claire? I grew up in Madison, so I'm like bonding all the time. But I live in Utah. I have for a while. But I go home all the time. So okay. Oh, that was yours that time?
Put back on channel 1.
Back, I said it was somewhat gold in the back. And I was on the initial, so good for him.
Well, it sure looked twisty. There's a lot of
I'll keep your butt warm.
Oh wow.
So we could duct tape it so it doesn't slide
That'd be
around.
awesome.
Are you
Thank so
right
much.
about
That's so
there?
nice of you. Yeah, it's really better. Maybe a little bit over there.
Yeah, we take in ice fishing, and so our
Oh, yeah.
dogs don't have to lay on the ice. So we have a bunch of sheets of them. That's why it looks kind of
Yeah.
scratched up.
No. Thanks so much.
I don't care if you break it or whatever. Just get the other side. Yeah, I don't like sitting on this bench. I come here every night. There.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's so
no
nice of you.
problem. Yeah.
So we're gonna take a moment to make sure the course is all smooth out and make sure there was no defects in the course. And let's hope that Kara Larson is okay with no serious injuries. Her jump 64.5 meters, one of the farthest of the day. That was Kara Larson again.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the EMT out of the shack. The second one is here, and Vivian's got her inside. I asked her to please send her out to the bottom of the hill.
Thought I'd run up the stairs to warm them up. Yeah. Frozen, I have to go in. I know, me too. There's a jump, I'm gonna go in.
Where are we at on number? We're at number 38?
Yeah.
Okay. Cara.
is clear. Proceed. Roger. I got jumper number 38. Getting on the bar.
So we have clearance to continue with our competition. Up next, bib 38, Samantha Makuga. She's on the bar. "17-year-old from Park City. She's on the hill.
$57.5,
57.5 meters for Samantha Makuga. Now our final category, the U20 males. Our first jumper will be Eric David from the Central Division.
Okay, jumper number 39. Getting on the bar. Firm gate aids, please. Roger. From position A. Can you repeat the distance for number 38, please? 57.5. Did you get that?
So the rest of the breakdown of the East skiers.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Those times are not official times. Do not announce them.
For yesterday.
Yes.
Okay.
We aren't a kid. That's kind of this. It has nothing to do with what we do.
Okay, jumper number 40 on the bar.
Jumper 40, that was Dennis Morgan from the Eastern region. 48 meters.
Okay, I got jumper number 41 on the bar.
Up next, AJ King from the Andover Outing Club. He is on the hill.
Bar.
47 meters for AJ King. Up next, Lucas Nichols from the Norgie Ski Club, 16 years old. .5 meters for Lucas Nichols. Up next, we have from Alaska, Hugo Compton.
Yes, that's Hugo. Yeah. Nice job, Hugo.
Hugo Compton's jump, 51 meters. Up next, Sean Maloney. From Kennett High School in New Hampshire, he's on the hill. .54 meters for Sean Maloney. Up next, Alexander Murray from Alaska. 52 meters for Alex Murray. And up next we have Bennett Gamber.
Jumper number 46 on the bar.
61.5 meters for Bennett Gamber, the 16-year-old from Steamboat Springs. Up next, Aiden Rip from the Central Region. .54 meters for Aiden Rip. So that was Augie Shiny from the Central Region. 58 meters, his jump. And up next we have Seth Gardner from the Eastern Division. Seth Gardner with a jump of 47.5 meters. Seth Gardner from the Salisbury Winter Sports Association. And up next we have Dean Decker, 17 years old from Steamboat Springs.
His name's Decker Dean.
They have it backwards.
Yeah, they do.
69 meters for Decker Dean from the Rocky Mountain Division. That, I believe, is the farthest jump on this hill that we've seen. Up next, Grayson Scharfs from Park City Ski and Snowboard, 16 years old. He's on the hill. .65 meters for Grayson Scharfs. Up next, Hunter Gibson from the Norgie Ski Club, 16 years old. He's on the hill. .69.5. So that makes that the longest jump of the day. Up next, Matt White.
Come down before, right after the gate started. Can you pull the gate down to gate 7, please? Roger.
67 meters for Matt White from New York Ski Education Foundation out of Lake Placid. And we're adjusting the bar, moving it down from 8 to 7. But up next, we will have Andrew Erlob from the Flying Eagles of Eau Claire.
Can you confirm you're on 7? Roger, on 7, jumper 54 on the bar.
So Andrew Erlob now on the bar.
Okay, down one more bar. 6-7.
67 meters for Andrew Erlob.
Last two. These last two will not go that far.
Is there any way that there's like no speakers out here? Is there any way to turn it
No
on?
one can hear anything. We
Yeah,
can
no one can
hear
hear what
one
you're
thing.
saying.
So you might as well, yeah.
Let me ask in the break. But yeah, before it was up there. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, all the
Everyone's
birds
like,
are
what?
like,
What?
can't hear
I
it.
know.
Anyway, thanks.
Thanks.
Kenny, you're making the call 7? Yes. If you're comfortable up there with 7, I'll stay at 7. Starter, stay at 7. Roger. Stay at finish at 7. Jumper 55 on the bar.
So we have Henry Johnstone up next.
$62.
62 meters for Henry Johnstone from the Andover Outing Club.
Number 56 on the bar.
And our final jumper of this trial jump,
Taking a 5, or are we going to go straight into the next round?
Gus Compton from Alaska.
We're going to take 5 and have some discussion.
57 meters for Gus Compton. So that was the final jump of this first trial run, the first competition of the jumping at Junior Nationals in 2018. So we are going to take a 5-minute break. And the jury's going to make some decisions about bar heights. And then we'll be back with the first round, the official round, which will count for the Nordic combined scores. That will be followed by the next round. And we have our second jumping competition today scheduled for 1 p.m. But again, a 5-minute break. And then we'll begin the competition again with the U16 females.
Yeah, you can hear it from around here, no problem. You can hear it from over there. My kids are young. Hi, I'm Margaret. I live in Lake City. I do, yeah. I have two kids, but they're not in kidding stage. They're on the team. I remember when my oldest was in first grade, I wanted to be his mom, so I was like to volunteer, at picture day. And when I kind of got home, then I just grabbed one of my jobs and home repairs. I used the same phone. So anyway, yeah, we didn't go to the. And then there's gonna be like one of the teachers stopped me, but I guess Carter did really well.
That's awesome.
My dad was like,
Alaska. I mean, you know, the Olympics.
yeah.
I mean, so that was impressive. I think is it the currents that are changing because like other places are getting snow. You know, they're getting dumped on where they normally don't get it. I mean, I think that global temperature is dropping.
I mean, rising. I mean. Actually, I don't think that they have. I asked her. I did ask her about
No, I'm not trying to rationalize it.
I mean, no, not you, but I mean, yeah. I mean, because the regulations are well. I mean, we follow the Fed regulations, but I mean, yeah, what are we gonna do?
But
Test
Europe,
the air.
Europe has probably not been using all the crap that America uses for 20 years.
Hey, thanks for helping me with my car yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I was in rental car hell zone.
yeah, I know.
It's like-
Yeah, and I couldn't believe they hadn't plowed the parking lot. Like I
Yeah,
thought I was gonna
holy
get stuck, and
cow.
I have like four-wheel drive and
Yeah.
like good tires and stuff.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think that actually I've been impressed with the lack of snowplow. Everybody's got a snowplow on the truck, but nobody's using it. Like the city doesn't.
Yeah, our city just is terrible.
Like, why don't they have some damn snowplows in the city?
Yeah, it's absurd. Like, if you, I mean, I grew up here, so I didn't know that it was absurd until I saw other places where they like
Like
are
other
so
places
on
that
it,
they
yeah.
actually clean the
Yeah, and
roads.
they like start as soon as it starts snowing. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But here it's just like, yeah, they'll wait like 2 weeks in some places. They do a thing where like one snowfall they'll start from the west side to the east side, but it takes them like 3 days to do.
Yeah,
So
they have
go
like
across the
4
city.
trucks or something like that.
Yeah, so like you'll have to wait like 4 days to get your street plowed like every other.
Yeah, like if you're on a side street, you're screwed, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
That's funny. And they have where like we studded tires here, so
Yeah.
we like justify it by that. But like that causes so much to repair roads. It's stupid. They're just lazy. They never got the ski trails though.
Yeah.
They always, actually have you been on the coastal trail?
No, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, so that one is always so funny because they groom that one before they start plowing the streets. Yeah.
Well, they must be some people that are like, yeah, I want to get a good skiing route.
Yeah.
Screw people having to get to work.
Yeah.
In Salt Lake City, they're so like they're so ready.
Yeah.
You know, like an inch of snow, and then they're out. Yeah. All right, sounds like you're getting back to work.
Yeah. Are you from Park City?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Salt Lake City, but
Yeah. So, I'm pretty sure about this, but I've gotten a couple of conflicting messages. But this one now is counting for the
for the combine.
yeah. So,
Gate assignments for U16. U16 females coming out of gate 11. U16 males coming out of gate 8. 11 and 8, Roger. Steve, start order is the one I have for you. Visual? Yes, that is correct. You need to be ready when we're coming on the bar, though.
So it sounds like we're getting ready for this first official round of jumping. Again, these jumps are going to decide the Nordic combined competition, as well as being the first part of the jumping competition, the first round of the jumping competition. The cross-country portion was held yesterday as a mass start because the jumping yesterday was canceled. So their jumping scores will be added to their times from yesterday for those skiers who are participating in the Nordic Combined event. And for the jumpers, their scores will be determined on their next two jumps. Looks like we have our first competitor on the bar now. Oh, we have 4 jumpers.
Johnny, 4 jumper, you said? Correct.
So we have.
An A and an H.
So we're gonna have 2 4 jumpers before the first official competitor begins.
Okay, got one more 4 jumper. H as in hat on the bar.
So Owen Moen, our final 4 jumper.
All right, bib 1, let's start.
So now we have bib 1 getting ready to go. Macy
Okay,
Olden.
Number 1 on the bar.
From Park City Ski Club, 13 years old. Macy Olden beginning this competition. Her first jump, 34 meters.
Thirty-five.
35 meters for Macy Olden. Up next, Rachel Herder from the Intermountain Division, also from Park City, 13 years old. She started ski jumping just 2 years ago.
Okay, I got jumper number 2 on the bar.
41.5, 41.5.
Rachel Herder with a jump of 41.5 meters. Up next, we have one of our competitors from yesterday's cross-country race, Tess Arnone from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, 14 years old. She is on the bar. Her first jump, 48 meters.
$52.52.
52 meters for Tess Arnone, so she improves on her jump from the trial run.
Got jumper number 4 on the bar.
Up next, Alexa Braybeck from the Rocky Mountain Division. Her first jump was 55 meters. Her second jump, 59 meters. That's her first official jump. Caroline Harrison will be up next from the Ford Sayre Ski Club, 12 years old. Her second jump, 38 meters for Caroline Harrison. Up next, from the Intermountain Division, Park City, Paige Jones. Her jump, 62.5 meters.
Jumper number 7 on the bar.
Up next, jumper number 7, Elise Loescher from New York Ski Education Foundation in Park City. .46 meters for Elise Loescher.
So I mean, I was saying to Taryn and Viv, like, I'm happy to sit here and help you if you want. So they get distance points and stuff, and then they're added together. So that's the best. Two jumps out of that.
That was Jillian Highfill, 57.5. Yeah, so you were coach. Across the board. So our next jumper, Annika Belshaw. Oh. 68 meters for Annika Belshaw. That was the farthest jump for the U16 woman, and we're going to go ahead and run right into the U16 male. So Cameron Somerton now on the bar.
Is there any way you can turn the volume up? We asked, there isn't. It's really hard to hear.
43.43.
So 43 meters for Cameron Somerton.
Got jumper number 11 on the bar.
Up next, Thomas Miller from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, 12 years old. His first jump, 48 meters. Up next, Logan Gundry from the Flying Eagle Ski Club out of the Central Division, 15 years old. He is on the bar. Yeah, they said it's somewhere up there.
Oh,
51.
45.5. 45.5.
Got jumper number 13 on the bar.
Up next, from Alaska, Skylar Amy, the 12-year-old. He is on the bar.
Jumper number 14 on the bar.
So up next, jumper 14, Teddy Ruth. You should sit on this.
59 for Alexa, but you guys need to worry about your jump, not everyone else.
Got jumper number 15 on the bar.
49.5 for Teddy Ruth from the Ford Sayre Ski Club. Up next, we have Gunnar Gilbertson from the Rocky Mountain Division.
I got jumper number 16 on the bar.
56.5 for Gunnar Gilbertson. Our next skier, Tim Ziegler from the Central Region. Tim Ziegler from the Isfaming Ski Club. 48.5 was his jump. Jumper 17 now, Caleb Zuckerman. Also from the Ford Sayre Ski Club, 12 years old.
Dave.
47.5 for Caleb Zuckerman.
Got jumper number 18 on the bar.
Jumper 18 now on the bar, Jack Lawrence.
Just want to make sure they had a mix up with 19 and 20 from the Park City ski team. So 19 is now Cooper, and 20 is Ian Crawford.
50 meters from Jack Lawrence.
So it's on here correctly.
Okay. Well,
I think they were just running the wrong bids before.
Up next, Cooper Saliga from the Intermountain Division.
whoa. All right, pocket, but
31 meters for Cooper Saliga.
We got jumper number 20 on the bar.
Jumper 20 now, Kean Crawford.
$56.56.
56 meters for Kean Crawford.
I got jumper number 21 on the bar.
Jumper 21 now, Stuart Gundry from the Flying Eagles of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 12 years old.
Okay, hold.
what did Kean Crawford say?
56.
56?
I'm off the bar.
You need to aim it this far.
Oh, no. Stand by. Okay, we're ready.
The first day they said they couldn't hear that up there, and now they say they can't hear down here, so I don't know. Change it. 52.5 for Stuart Gundry.
I got jumper number 22 on the bar.
Jumper 22 now, Carter Lee from the Central Division. Also from the Flying Eagles, 13 years old. He is on the hill.
$53.53.
53 meters for Carter Lee.
Got jumper number 23 on the bar.
Up next, Bryce Clock from the New York Ski Education Foundation in Lake Placid, 12 years old. $55.5 for Bryce Clock.
I got jumper number 24 on the bar. $50.
50 meters for Cameron Forbush from the Ford Sierra Ski Club.
5 on the bar.
And up next, we have Carter Brubaker from Alaska.
$59.
59 meters for Carter Brubaker.
Got jumper number 26 on the bar.
Jumper 26 now, Nicholas Malasinski. 14 years old from Steamboat Springs, on the hill now. .63 for Nicholas Malasinski. Up next, Evan Nichols from Fort Sayre. He had one of the longest jumps in the first round for this U16 category. .65 meters for Evan Nichols. Up next, Eric Gessner from the Central Region. Eric Gessner out of Madison, Wisconsin. 50.5 meters. Jumper 29 now, Camden Wilkinson. .64 meters for Camden Wilkinson. So that was Zach Seltzman from Park City Ski Club. 52 meters was his jump. Jumper 31 now, Landon Lee from the Flying Eagles from Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Jumper number 32 on the ball.
63.5 meters for Landon Lee.
Jumper number 32 on the ball.
So that was Eric Belshaw from the Rocky Mountain Division with a 63-meter jump.
Got jumper number 33 on the ball.
So Kate France. 64 meters for Tate France. So up next we have the U20 females. I'm here with Jed Hinckley, the sport development director. He's going to explain quickly how the scoring will work for this competition. We have 2 rounds, I know. Jed, can you explain quickly how the scoring will work for that?
Yeah, so there's 2 competition jumps. Athletes will be scored on both distance and style, and the 2 scores will be added together. So there are 5 judges up there judging their style. Best scores they can get per judge is a 20, and so they'll add those together, and then they'll add that to the distance points.
And yesterday we had the cross country competition. Can you explain a little bit how that will work with the cross country and jumping competitions combined?
Yeah, so typically you're going to have what's called a Gunderson start. So that would mean they would take their jumping score and then do sort of a handicap start. But since we had to do the cross country first, they just did a mass start. So they'll basically work backwards.
So we have our first U20 female on the bar, Kaylee Bickner now.
You know, those athletes if you want.
Sure, go ahead and talk about them.
Kaylee's on the hill. Kaylee's from the Norgie Ski Club in Chicago. I'll take a decent jump for Kaylee. Kaylee is the younger sister of Kevin Bickner. Kevin was one of our Olympians this year, so had, I believe, an 18th and 20th place in the Olympics. That was a jump of 49 meters for Kaylee.
Sophia Nestor now from the Intermountain Division.
Sophia's from Park City, Utah, coached by Blake Hughes. She's on the hill. Good jump for Sophia, somewhere around that 50-meter mark.
Up next, Anna Hoffman from the Central Region.
Anna's from the Blackhawk Ski Club, but also part of our junior national team, so both coached by Scott Smith, and when she's traveling, sometimes by Blake Hughes as well.
.61 meters for Anna Hoffman. So Kara Larson is a scratch. We saw hers crash earlier. Hopefully she's okay. But we're going to move on to Samantha Masuga.
U20 males are coming from gate 6. Gate 6.
So we're moving on now to the U20 men. We're moving the bar down to gate 6. Can you
Just want to let folks know I did talk to Guy Larson, Kara's dad, and I think she's okay. She maybe tweaked her knee a little bit, so she's going to sit this one out, but I think she should be okay.
We're glad to hear that. And Jed, can I have you explain quickly the different bar heights, how that affects the jumps?
Sure. So what we have is we have a jury here, and so they'll decide on the bar placement. So what they're doing is they're going to be moving the bar down for the men's class to make sure that they don't out-jump the hill. So we want to make sure we have long jumps, but safe jumps. And you move the bar down to lower the speed a little bit and make sure they're not going too far past the critical point, which is at 65 meters.
So Eric David now from the Central Region, 17 years old. He is on the bar.
Eric is from the Itasca Ski Jumping Club in Coleraine, Minnesota.
Cool. But anyways, all the
54, 5-4.
That's a jump of 54 meters for Eric. Do we know what his first round jump was? First round jump for Eric?
Don't know what it was. Didn't hear it.
Next up, we have Dennis Morgan from the Eastern Division. Dennis is actually one of our high school jumpers, so he jumps for Kennett High School. New Hampshire still has high school jumping, so you can actually be a varsity ski jumper in New Hampshire. super excited to have these guys out here.
I had him down at University of Utah too. Is that right? Someone told me that.
I apologize. Kenneth used to be a high school jumper. He's now at the University of Utah.
43 meters was Dennis Morgan's jump. So up next, we have AJ King from the Andover Outing Club, 19 years old.
AJ is also a high school jumper from New Hampshire. AJ's favorite or single word that describes him best is sendy.
Yes, I'm a lot.
Okay,
And AJ is actually out of my home club of the Andover Outing Club in Andover, New Hampshire.
48 meters for AJ King. Up next, Lucas Nichols from the Norgie Ski Club, 16 years old.
Lucas also has two other brothers, I believe, who are ski jumpers. He's on the hill.
$55 meters for Lucas Nichols. Up next from Alaska, Hugo Compton. Another one of our competitors in yesterday's cross-country race, so he'll be participating in the Nordic Combined today. $50 meters for Hugo Compton.
Next up, we have jumper number 44. This is Sean Maloney, and if I'm not incorrect, I believe Sean Maloney was the New Hampshire state champion this year for our high schools. They also like to say that they're national champions since there's not high school jumping anywhere else in the nation. I guess you could also say maybe they're world champions.
$51 meters for Sean Maloney. Up next, bib 45, Alexander Murray from Alaska, 16 years old. Alexander is on the bar.
Alex is the son of Vivian Murray, well known at this club, and also the family I'm staying with, so thank you. Alex didn't look very happy with that jump.
Up next, Bennett Gamber from Steamboat Springs, 16 years old.
Bennett's on the hill. Solid jump for Bennett. Bennett's a Nordic Combined skier coached by Carl Denny. Had some solid results this year. I believe he skied in his first Continental Cup.
Jumper 47 now, Aiden Rip. Aiden Rip was the first finisher yesterday in the U20 men's 5K race out at Kincaid Park.
Aiden's a real fast cross-country skier. Solid jumper as well. Minnesota just recently had their high school state championships, and Aiden was
11 for the ski.
11th for the skate, so he's 11th best skater in the state of Minnesota.
66 last year.
What was Aiden Ripp's distance? 55 meters was Aiden Ripp's jump. Augie Shiny now on the hill.
Augie's fairly new to ski jumping and started a little bit later than most athletes do, but he's been doing a great job. He's from Westby, from the Snowflake Ski Club in Westby, Wisconsin, coached by Matt Coiler.
59 meters for Augie Shiny. Seth Gardner now on the bar. He's on the hill.
Sorry, I'm talking too much.
Seth Gardner, 17 years old, from Salisbury Winter Sports Association. 46.5 meters.
I believe Seth is our first skier from Salisbury for a little bit, so great to see Salisbury represented, and Ariel Picton's up there in the coach's stand, the coach for Salisbury, doing a great job there.
Decker D now, also known as D2 on the hill. .67 meters for Decker Dean. His first jump was 69, so not quite able to repeat that one, but still a great jump from Decker Dean. Grayson Sharfs now, the powdered toast man from Park City Ski and Snowboard, 16 years old.
Grayson's been having a great winter and made some huge improvements and having some really solid results in our U.S. Cup. Nice jump for Grayson.
63.5 meters for Grayson Sharfs. Up next, we have Hunter Gibson from the Norgie Ski Club, 16 years old.
Hunter's coached by Scott Smith, was also a member of our junior world team competing in Konnersteg, Switzerland this year. Long jump for Hunter.
67 meters. So that ties him for the longest jump of the day for the U20 men. Jumper 53 now. Matt White, 16 years old, from New York Ski Education Foundation.
Solid jump for Matt. Matt's from Lake Placid, New York, coached by Colin Delaney.
64.5 meters for Matt White. Up next, we have 3 jumpers left. Andrew Urlaub now from the Flying Eagles, 16 years old.
Andrew got some height over the knoll there, trying to keep it straight, flying it down below. He's been having a solid winter, was actually leading our U.S. Cup going into the last event. Looks like all these jumps are a little bit shorter the second round. Not sure if they came down a gate or not. Wind conditions could have changed a little bit as well. Trying to make sure we keep the athletes safe. Going right around that K point.
Jumper 55 now, Henry Johnstone. His uncle Hans was an Olympian in ski jumping. He's from the Andover Outing Club as well, 17 years old.
Henry's uncle Scott actually was my coach when I was younger as well. Comes from a long line of ski jumpers. Solid jump for Henry. Henry's a fast cross-country skier and made a lot of improvements on the jump hill this winter.
62 meters for Henry Johnstone.
Got jumper number 56 on the ball.
And our final jumper of the day of this first round, Gus Compton from Alaska.
The crowd favorite here. Solid jump for Gus. Gus is actually going to be traveling to Trondheim, Norway to compete in a youth cup here in a couple weeks.
So that does it for our first round of the jumping. So far we've seen our best jumps are around 67 meters. Again, we lowered the bar on this second round, so we didn't see quite as far of jumps as we saw in the first round, but still some really impressive jumping. Again, these distances are not the final scores. The final scores are determined based on the judging, based on their landing. So we won't know that for a while.
Typically, we would do what's called a reverse order, which means they would tabulate the points from the first round and then send athletes backwards from least amount of points to most amount of points. I believe today, because we're getting 2 competitions in, I think we're just going to run in normal bib order. But I could be incorrect about that. Definitely want to say a big thank you to the Team Alaska, all the volunteers out there. Thank you, hill markers. Thank you, officials. Keep those feet warm. I see some dancing going on up there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I see Steve Compton down there at the critical point, getting those important distances. Thank you, Steve. Sorry, all the other folks I don't know up there. But we definitely couldn't do that without our volunteers and markers, so thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and thank all of our officials. Our TD is Kenneth Barker. How do you pronounce this? Assistant TD, Paul Jastro.
Our Intermountain judge is Keith Hansen. Keith's son, Josh, is a coach at the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. It's going great. Our central judge, East judge filling in for Jim Carter is Dan Mattoon, actually from the Eau Claire Ski Club, Flying Eagle Ski Club in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Thank you, Dan. Dan's son, Nick and Nate, are both very good ski jumpers on our national and junior national team. Our central judge is Matt Coiler. Thank you, Matt. Matt's also the coach at the Snowflake Ski Club. So thanks, Matt. Our Intermountain judge is Jarrett Moe from Park City, Utah. Hope you're doing okay, Jared. And Rocky Mountain judge is Alan Belshaw. So thank you. Big thank you to calculations people, Tammy Jastro and Lisa Mattoon. Thank you for all you do with the calculations.
Did you say you have to do like what? Equipment control.
Yeah, just like the last 10 jumpers, so I can be here until.
Why do they only do the last 10 jumpers? It's just random or something?
Yeah, so I was just explaining that I'm going to help announce, but then I got to go do equipment control. So equipment control just means that we're going to be measuring athletes' skis because athletes' skis are based on their height. So they can't have skis that are too long to keep it safe and fair for everybody. And then they actually have a binding placement that we have to measure. So it can only be a certain percentage back from the tip where you have your binding on the ski. So I'll be doing equipment control for the last few jumpers here the second round. Also, some other volunteers we definitely want to thank. Mike Jokala, thank you. Trevor Taylor, Tom Smith, John Fryer, J.R. Petit.
Gian Molitor, and Sally and Dick Dworsky. Thank you. You guys are our super volunteers. You're always out there helping with these competitions. Despite not having any kids in the program anymore, we really appreciate that. We also will take this opportunity to thank our main sponsors, US Ski and Snowboard, the Nordic Ski Association of Anchorage, Murray Orthodontics, a supporter for many years, taking care of Alaskan Smiles since 1996. Alaska Heart Institute, Alaska Airlines, and Spring Hill Suites.
Also, a big thank you to Karen Compton and Vivian Murray. Thanks for all you do. Also, thank you to folks working on the hill, Zach Hamill, Natasha, thank you. And thanks to all the parents who made it up here from other divisions.
I'm gonna go find another suit to sit on. Stay warm up. Where you're sitting on. There you go.
Just go ahead. There, though, if you want.
His butt's getting cold.
Yeah, I don't know.
Poor Jed.
That's usually South High School, but yeah, I'll ask him.
I like that purchase. Oh, that's a cool bathroom. Yeah. Like the first iterations, because it's like they have like dots. Oh yeah. Shiny. Like Mylar or something. Yeah.
They're gonna start at 11 and it's gonna keep going. There's order. What? Perfect. Someone should offer some hot drinks to the
Did he start the
hill
camera?
markers. That's a rough one.
Are they going right into the second, or are they?
I think we're going in now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do a reverse order, I don't think, just because of the two conflicts.
Are they taking a break between rounds? Okay. I'll be back. Oh, they're 5 minutes.
It's been more than 5 minutes. So we're about ready to get started on the second round. We have 2 4-jumpers that will be completing the jump before we begin with that official second round of competition. But again, only the first round of competition is counting for the Nordic combined scores. We don't have any official word on that because it is going to be based on the judged landing of the jumps and flight of the jumps. So we don't quite know that yet, but we'll try to get it to you as soon as we know any of those results. The second jump is counting for the jumping competition.
U16 are both jumps. For U16 are both jumps.
Just for you.
U20 is one jump.
So excuse me, we have a correction. The U16 competition is going to use both jumps from today in the Nordic combined. So both jumps will count for the U16 skiers, but only the first jump will count for the U20 skiers.
Yeah, typically we would use what's called a Gunderson start, so they would have the jumping first, and then you would take points per meter. I believe it's 15 points per meter. So if the winner of the jumping would go out first, and then if you were 15 points behind, you would go 1 minute later. And so that way you know exactly where everyone is, and the first person across the finish line is the winner. But we'll have to do a conversion today.
So we have our first 4-jumper, Charlotte Rip, on the bar. Again, just a 4-jumper that she is not competing.
Charlotte is a good young Nordic combined skier, sister of Aiden Rip. Solid jump for Charlotte. hoping to see her here in the future on the junior national team skiing Nordic Combined. Women's Nordic Combined is a relatively new event on the world stage, and we're real excited about it.
On the bar.
So that was our second forward jumper, Owen Mosen from Alaska. So that brings us to the second round. Our first jumper, Macy Olden, our first U16 female competitor. Her first jump, 35 meters.
Bib number 1. On the bar.
Macy Olden from Park City Ski Club, 13 years old.
Thirty-four.
34 meters for Macy Olden. Up next, Rachel Herder. 13 years old, also from Park City.
Bib number 2.
Rachel's coached by Anders Johnson, the Park City Ski and Snowboard. I believe she skis Nordic Combined sometimes. I don't think she's skiing here at Junior Nationals though. Solid jump for Rachel.
45 meters, so that's her best jump. She improves on her first round jump by 3.5 meters. So great work from Rachel Herder. Up next, Tess Arnone, one of the Nordic Combined competitors from Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club.
Tess actually traveled over to Kandersteg, Switzerland this winter. There was a demonstration event for Women's Nordic Combined, so great to see her out there.
Zero.
50 meters for Tess Arnone. So her two scores, 52 meters and 50 meters.
Next up is Alexa Braybeck from Steamboat Springs, Colorado, Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, and she's on the hill. See Alexa's dad, Dan, down here dancing to stay warm. Solid jump for Alexa.
55 meters for Alexa Braybeck. She was second in yesterday's cross-country competition behind Tess Arnone. Yesterday they first wrote it as Tess Amone, and then I was like, no, it's Arnone. There, and then they spelled it. So Caroline Harrison, 39 meters for her from Ford Sayre Ski Club, just 12 years old.
Great to see her out here, a real young athlete. Lots of good, strong skiers from Fort Sayre, coached by Mike Holland back in Hanover, New Hampshire.
And Paige Jones is on the bar now, 15 years old from Park City. She's on the hill now.
Great jump by Paige, way down there. Don't know if she possibly drugged those hands. 66.5 meters, so a meter and a half past the critical point. Great jump, Paige.
Elise Loescher up next from Lake Placid, 15 years old. Her goal is to compete internationally.
On the hill. Got some good height over the knoll. Looks like a solid jump for Elise.
46 meters for her. And up next, Jillian Highfill, also known as Jumpin' Jilly. 13 years old from Park City.
Jillian's had a really good winter, having some great results in U.S. Cups. She's on the hill.
I got bib number 9 getting on the bar.
60 meters for Jillian Highfill. That's her best jump of the day, her farthest jump of the day. Our last competitor for the female U16 competition, Annika Belshaw. She had a monster jump earlier today of 68 meters. We'll wait and see what this one was. 64 meters for her second jump of the day. So she has two great jumps today. 64 meters and 68 meters. So in the second round, it looks like Paige Jones had the farthest jump with 66.5 meters. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the U16 men.
I have bib number 10 getting on the bar. Position
Bib number 10 now, getting ready to go. That's Cameron Somerton. Cameron Somerton from the Lebanon Outing Club in Lebanon, New Hampshire. He's on the hill. 45 meters for Cameron Somerton.
Okay, I've got bib number 11 getting on the bar.
Bib 11 now, Thomas Miller from the Rocky Mountain Division, Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, 12 years old. He's on the bar now.
$54.5,
54.5 meters. So that's 3.5 meters above his previous jump of 51 meters.
getting on the bar.
Up next, Logan Gundry from the Flying Eagle Ski Club, 15 years old.
Could you repeat the distance to 11?
Nice jump from Logan Gundry.
45.5,
45.5, so he matches his second or his first round jump. Up next, Skylar Amy of the Winterberry Charter School right here in Anchorage, just 12 years old. His first round jump was 48 meters.
got bib number 13 on the bar.
Skylar also competing in the Nordic Combined. Looks like a nice jump from Skylar Amy.
Bib number 14, it's 5.5.
55 meters. So he improves on his first round jump by 7 meters. Up next, we have Teddy Ruth from the Eastern Division from the Ford Sayre Ski Club. Nice jump from Teddy Ruth. 53 meters, so he also improves on his first round jump. Looks like by 3.5 meters. Yeah. I gotta see, it's probably something inside this.
Number 16 on the ball. What?
I guess, I mean, I could not land to.
One before was, not this one, the one before was 15.
15 is what?
55. I don't know what that's 16.
Caleb Zuckerman. 52 meters for Caleb Zuckerman. That's how I'm working with it, yeah.
Number 18 on the ball. Maybe try turning it off back on again.
Yeah, we gotta do that right. So we had
I don't think so. I mean, everyone's walking through there. Okay.
So for those of you watching the live stream, excuse us for we had some technical difficulties. But that last jumper, Kian Crawford, had a jump of 58.5 meters. Up next, Stuart Gundry. 12 years old from the Flying Eagles Ski Club.
That one.
Sorry, what was that?
How many feet was that one?
58.5.
58.5? We can't hear you over here.
There's troubles with the mic right now.
Try this now. Hello, hello. Is that working? I can't tell.
Four.
54 meters for Stuart Gundry.
Is it working?
Just stopped randomly, yeah. Up next, we have bib 22, Carter Lee from the Central Region. His first round jump was 53 meters. 52.5 meters for Carter Lee. Up next is Bryce Klock, one of our Nordic combined competitors. Beautiful jump from Bryce Klock. .57 meters for Bryce Klock's second round. Again, for the U16, both of these rounds will count for their Nordic combined scores. For the U20s, only their first round jump will count. Up next, we have Cameron Forbush. Also from Fort Sayre, he's on the hill. .50.5 for Cameron Forbush. Up next from Alaska, Carter Brubaker. From Golden View Middle School, 14 years old. Started jumping when he was just 8 years old. .54.5 meters for Carter Brubaker. Up next, Nicholas Malasinski. His first round jump was 63.5 meters from Steamboat Springs. Nicholas Malasinski, on the bar now. On the hill. Beautiful jump from Nicholas Malasinski. 65 meters for Nicholas Malasinski. Up next, Evan Nichols from Fort Sayre, 14 years old. He's on the hill now. The internet. 66.5 for Evan Nichols. That looks like one of the biggest, if not the farthest jump so far in the U16 category. He improves on his first round by 1 meter. And up next we have Eric Gessner. .50 meters for Eric Gessner. Up next, we have Camden Wilkinson from Steamboat Springs, 15 years old. He's been jumping since he was 7. His first round jump, it was 64.5 meters. Beautiful jump by Camden Wilkinson. So he ties his first round jump with 64.5 meters. But again, those scores will depend on jumping scores.
What's Carter's jump? Carter Brubaker. Second jump, 54.
Up next, Zach Seltzman, another Nordic combined competitor. Nice jump from Zach Seltzman. 48.5 was his second jump. Landon Lee, he had a first round jump of 63.5 meters. So one of the handful of jumpers to get above 60 meters. Landon Lee on the hill now. Nice jump from him. 64 meters, so he improves on his first round jump by a half a meter. Eric Belshaw up next, his first round jump, 63 meters. Monster jump from Eric Belshaw. 66.5 meters for Eric Belshaw on his second round. Eric Belshaw, one of the Nordic Combined competitors. So that's a strong showing for him in the jumping portion. Up next, our final U16 male jumper, Tate France. He's on the hill. Oh, and just barely saves that landing. But a monster jump. 70.5 meters for Tate France. He just barely held on to that landing, but a beautiful monster jump. I believe that makes it the hill record, since this hill was just reworked. So the first competitor to go over 70 meters, Tate France. So we're going to have a short pause and decide on which gate to use for the female U20 competition. So we got confirmation that we are staying on gate 10 for the women's U20 competition.
Can we get something for you? Can we get you something? This one? He missed. He was not there.
So our first female competitor, Kaylee Bickner, on the hill.
$51.51.
51 meters for Kaylee Bickner. Up next, Sophia Nestor from the Intermountain Division. Her first round jump, 52 meters. $54.5 meters for Sophia Nestor. That improves on her first round jump. Up next, Anna Hoffman. She had a 61-meter jump in the first round.
All I did is reset it, so I mean, whatever.
Nice jump from Anna Hoffman. 62 meters, so she improves on her first round jump. Bib 37, Kara Larson, again is a scratch. We saw her crash earlier today, but we have heard that she's okay. She has a knee injury, but she'll be okay. We're glad to hear that. Samantha Masuga will be our next competitor, wearing bib 38. 61 meters
What do you want to do on the gates
for Samantha Masuga. That improves on her first round jump by 4 meters. So our farthest jump in the female U20 competition, 62 meters by Anna Hoffman. Samantha Masuga just behind her with 61 meters.
What are you thinking? I'm thinking we still got a tailwind, but just make sure you watch the wind before you put the red cloth go to green. But I say we stay at 6. Okay. Right side, stay at 6. Roger.
So we have the confirmation that we're going to stay on gate 6 for the men. There's a slight tailwind, which we don't expect to shorten the jumps too much because it's so mild, but the starters have decided to stay on gate number 6. Our first jumper in the U20 male competition, Eric David. His first round jump, 54 meters. He's from Coleraine, Minnesota, the Itasca Ski Jumping Club, representing the Central Region at Junior Nationals.
Okay, I got group number 39 on the bar. Gate 6.
So Eric David on the bar. Nice jump from Eric David. 54 meters. He ties his first round jump. Up next, Dennis Morgan.
Group number 40 on the bar.
18 years old, now jumping for the University of Utah, from the Kennett Ski Jumping Club. He's on the bar now.
For
44.5 meters for Dennis Morgan. So he improves on his first round jump.
For the schedule.
group number 41 on the bar.
Bib 41 now. AJ King, 19 years old, from the Andover Outing Club. His first round jump, 48 meters. AJ King with a jump of 42.5 meters. Up next, Lucas Nichols from the Central Region. The Norgie Ski Club, 16 years old. He's on the hill now.
$53.5, 53.5.
53.5 meters for Lucas Nichols.
I got group number 43 on the bar.
Up next, we have Hugo Compton from Alaska, 18 years old. His first round jump, 50 meters, and he is on the hill now. .49 meters. Sean Maloney now on the bar. He is another Nordic combined competitor.
I can also run for the trailer. It's not a big deal.
I was just trying to get more.
Good job.
52 meters for Sean Maloney. 1 meter better than his previous round jump of 51. Now we have bib number 45, Alex Murray, from right here in Anchorage, 16 years old. .52 meters for Alex Murray. Up next, Bennett Gamber. He had a first round jump of 60 meters. He is 16 years old from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Center. He's on the hill now. .54 meters for his final jump. Up next, Aiden Rip, one of our Nordic combined competitors, the winner of yesterday's U20 cross-country race at Kincaid Park. He's on the bar right now. His first round jump, 55 meters. .54 meters. Up next, Augie Shiny from the Central Region. 17 years old from the Snowflake Ski Club. He's on the hill now.
Well, yeah. What do you prefer?
52 meters for Augie Shiny. Our next competitor, Seth Gardner from the Salisbury Winter Sports Association. His first round jump, 46.5 meters. .46 meters for his second jump. Up next, Decker Dean from Steamboat Springs, 17 years old. He had a 67-meter jump on the first round of this. And a beautiful jump from Decker Dean, 67, so he ties his first round jump. Up next, Grayson Sharfs, 16 years old. He had a 63.5 meter jump in the first round. Nice jump from
63, 63.
Grayson Sharps. 63 meters was his official distance. Up next, Hunter Gibson.
52 on the bar.
He had one of the farthest jumps on the first round, 67 meters. From the Norgie Ski Club, 16 years old. He is on the bar, getting ready for his final jump. 66.5 meters for Hunter Gibson. Up next, Matt White from the New York Ski Education Foundation in Lake Placid, representing the Eastern Division.
$64.
64 meters for his second jump. So he has a 64.5 and a 64 meter jumps so far. Up next, Andrew Urlaub. He also had a 64.5 meter jump. Andrew Urlaub from the Flying Eagles. He's on the hill. $64 meters for Andrew Urlaub as well. So Andrew Urlaub and Matt White had identical distances. We'll have to wait and see based on how they are judged for their flights and landings. 2 racers remaining. Henry Johnstone. He had a 62 meter jump in the first round from the Andover Outing Club. $60.5 is his final jump. So that brings us to our final competitor from Anchorage, Alaska, Gus Compton. 16 years old, attends West Anchorage High School. He is on the bar, our final competitor. $58 meters for Gus Compton, so he improves on his first round. That does it for our jumping portion today. In the morning, the individual jumping round. We will try to bring you the final scores once we receive those from the judges, and try to bring you the Nordic combined results as well. Our next competition, the team jumping, is scheduled to begin at 1 p.m. today. So we hope to see you there. But great job to all the competitors. Thank you to all the volunteers and all the sponsors who put in all the hard work today. It looked like a lot of work getting that course ready, especially after yesterday's massive snowfall. So thank you for all the hard work, and thanks again to all the visitors who are here watching and supporting their favorite athletes. Again, great competition from everybody today. We had our first, what we believe is our first jump over 70 meters on this hill. That's the new hill record after this hill was reworked. That was Tate France. So congratulations to him. He's currently the hill record holder unofficially. But again, thanks for joining us. Congratulations to the athletes. We will see you back here at 1 p.m. So, we have one 4 jumper. Just practice on him. Sorry, you wanted to see the.
Is that all right? The under 16? Number 16?
Yeah, absolutely. I just had to find it. Sorry.
It's in there somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Where did that go? Okay, that's right here.